Welcome to the session 4 of Immunology and Animal Biotechnology paper. In this session, we are going to understand about the structure and function of different types of cells of the immune system. This is a part of understanding the cells and organs involved in the immune system. I am Dr. G. Hema, Faculty of Biotechnology, Maharani Science College for Women, Bengaluru. In the previous session, we had learned in detail about the humoral and cell-mediated immune systems and their different components. In this session, we are going to learn and understand about the process of hematopoiesis, the different cells that arise during this process and their functions. Hematopoiesis is a process during which all the different types of blood cells arise from the hematopoietic stem cell. I hope the students remember that the stem cell is a type of cell which can give rise to all the different types of cells. There are different types of stem cells, of which one is hematopoietic stem cell. The hematopoietic stem cell is a pluripotent stem cell, and the process of hematopoiesis occurs in the bone marrow. The hematopoietic stem cell, in fact for that matter, any stem cell can undergo self-renewal as well as give rise to different other types of cells, which means when a stem cell undergoes division, the daughter cells may be both stem cells or both different types of cells, or one of the daughter cell may be a stem cell and the other may be a more specialized form of cell. The hematopoietic stem cell on division gives rise to two types of multipotent progenitor cells, namely the common lymphoid progenitor and the common myeloid progenitor. Now, these two types of cells in turn give rise to the other types of cells involved in the immune system. So, this is a flow chart which shows us a description and a list of all the cells that arise from a hematopoietic stem cell, which is also called as a hemocytoblast. The first generation of cells that arise from the HSC are the common myeloid progenitor and the common lymphoid progenitor cells. The common lymphoid progenitor give rise to two types of cells, namely the natural killer cells and smaller lymphocytes. The smaller lymphocyte in turn gives rise to the T lymphocytes and the B lymphocytes, whereas the common myeloid progenitor gives rise to megakaryocytes, erythrocytes, mast cells and myeloblasts. The megakaryocyte later undergoes fragmentation, giving rise to thrombocytes or platelets. Erythrocytes are otherwise called as red blood cells. The megakaryocytes and erythrocytes have functions other than being a part of the immune system. All the remaining cells that arise in this process of hematopoiesis, other than the megakaryocytes and erythrocytes, are involved in the immune functioning, either as a part of the innate immune system or a part of adaptive immune system. And it is important to remember here that both these systems work in close interrelation and interdependency. Let us have a look at the functioning and identification of these different types of cells in detail. Starting with the cells that arise from the common lymphoid progenitor. The first type of cells we are going to discuss is about natural killer cells or NK cells. Natural killer cells are large in size, granular in nature, and are characterized by the presence of a unique NK cell receptor. The NK cell receptor is not like a T cell receptor or a B cell receptor. It cannot recognize antigens, but it has a unique function of recognizing other surface molecules of cells. The major function of natural killer cells is to show cytotoxic activity against altered self cells. The CD16 molecule present on the surface of natural killer cells is an important player in the phenomena called as antibody dependent cell mediated cytotoxicity. The next type of cells are T cells or the T lymphocytes. The T cells and B cells together are called as lymphocytes, as they form the major part of the cells that are present in the lymph. Here you should understand that all lymphocytes are WBC, but all WBC are not lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are a major part of the white blood cells or the leukocytes. Now coming to the functioning of T cells or the T lymphocytes. The T lymphocytes are produced in the bone marrow but undergo maturation in thymus. They are characterized by the presence of a unique surface receptor called the T cell receptor, which is specialized to interact with antigens that are presented by either antigen presenting cells or altered self cells or graft cells. Graft cells are those that are present in transplanted organs. The T cells are also possessing another important surface molecule, namely the CD4 in case of T helper cells and CD8 in case of cytotoxic T cells. The class 1 MHC molecules on self cells like altered self cells and infected cells are recognized by the CD8 molecules on the cytotoxic T lymphocytes, and the class 2 MHC molecules present on the surface of professional antigen presenting cells like the B cells and macrophages are recognized by the T helper cells. This picture shows us how an antigen presenting cell presents the antigen, the green one is the antigen, as a complex with class 2 MHC molecule to the T helper cell, wherein the T helper cell interacts with the antigen through the T cell receptor and with the class 2 MHC through the CD4 surface molecule. On such stimulation, antigenic interaction and stimulation, the T helper cells release secondary messengers like cytokines and interleukins. These two or other different types of secondary messengers are very important in causing stimulation and proliferation of all the different types of immune cells, offering protection to the host. Coming to the next type of lymphocytes, that is B cells or B lymphocytes. The B cells originate in the bone marrow and also undergo maturation in the bone marrow itself. Mature B cells display membrane-bound antibodies. Coming to B cells or the B lymphocytes, these cells originate in the bone marrow during the process of lymphopoiesis and mature as well as in the bone marrow. During the process of maturation, the B cells acquire membrane-bound antibodies. Such a B cell which displays a membrane-bound antibody is called mature naive B cell. The B cells also possess specialized surface molecules, another set of specialized surface molecules called the class 2 MHC molecules. MHC stands for major histocompatibility complex. The image shows how the antigens and antibodies undergo interaction. Once a mature naive B cell comes across an antigen which is recognized by its membrane-bound antibody, this is a mature naive B cell or a mature B lymphocyte which shows membrane-bound antibodies. Now, through such membrane-bound antibodies, when the B cell comes across a matching or complementary antigen present on the surface of a pathogen or a toxin, it interacts and proliferates into plasma cells and memory B cells. The plasma cell is a form of B cell which lacks a membrane-bound antibody but is capable of secreting millions of antibody molecules into the tissue fluids. These millions of antibody molecules act as defense molecules for the host. They neutralize and precipitate toxins and pathogens and also help in their elimination. Now, the three types of cells that we studied to originate from the common lymphoid progenitor are NK cells, T cells and B cells. Along with that, dendritic cells are also produced from the common lymphoid progenitor. We are going to see what are the dendritic cells in the next few slides. Now, let us have a look at the cells originating from the myeloid progenitor. The most important type of cells that originate from the myeloid progenitor and are called as granulocytes are eosinophils, neutrophils and basophils. All these three types of cells originate from the myeloblast, which in turn takes origin from the myeloid progenitor. Now, the eosinophils are very important in killing larger parasites which cannot be destroyed by phagocytosis. So, the eosinophils surround these larger parasites and release chemically or pharmacokinetically active substances which can damage and eliminate the parasites. Eosinophils are so called because their nucleus stains with acidic dyes like eosin. This is an important character by which eosinophils are identified on a slide. Eosinophils are also characterized by the presence of a bilobed nucleus. Basophils are non-phagocytic granulocytes. Their nucleus is generally club-shaped and stains with basic dyes. Basophils are important in certain types of allergic responses and immune defense. Neutrophils are larger granulocytes. They are phagocytic and secrete lytic enzymes. Their nucleus stains with neutral dyes, and neutrophils also are characterized by the presence of a multi-lobed nucleus. So among these three granulocytes, eosinophils and neutrophils are phagocytic in nature, whereas basophils are non-phagocytic. The other type of cells that are produced from a myeloblast are mast cells. These are also filled with cytoplasmic granules which contain histamine. They are important in developing certain kinds of allergies. All the four types of granulocytes which contain granules, they get the name because they have lot of cytoplasmic granulocytes. These granules are packed with pharmacologically active substances and lytic enzymes which help in destruction of the pathogen or the toxins. Now, the other type of cells that arise from a myeloid progenitor include dendritic cells and the mononuclear phagocytic cells. Dendritic cells have membranous extensions from the cell, and because of this they are capable of phagocytosis. Their major function is phagocytosis. They also have several other important functions in the immune mechanism. The dendritic cells are the major antigen presenting cells. Because of their membranous extensions, they are capable of phagocytosis. The mononuclear phagocytic cells include monocytes and macrophages. Circulating monocytes, once they get released from the bone marrow into the body fluids, they circulate in the blood for about 7 to 8 days and then reach tissues and settle down where they get converted into macrophages. Both of these are major antigen presenting cells. They are also involved in innate immune mechanism. Here there are two major functions. All these cells that are capable of phagocytosis have two major functions. One is a part of innate immune system, that is, they directly destroy and kill the pathogens by phagocytosis. The second one is a part of adaptive immune system. Once the process of phagocytosis is done and the pathogen is converted into fragments, these fragments are presented as a complex with MHC molecules to the lymphocytes, that is T lymphocytes. So this part of activity of the antigen presenting cells or the phagocytic cells is an important process in the adaptive immune system. To summarize, in this video session we discussed hematopoiesis, about the common lymphoid and myeloid progenitors and the different types of cells that arise from these two progenitors, how they can be identified and their functions. These are the references that will give you a deeper insight into the different types of cells. Thank you for listening to this video.